The City Needs Rehab, brought to you by City University London. Every so often, something really, really big happens that makes people stop what they're doing and generally freak out. That's kind of what happened in the winter of 2009. The people at City University London were about to launch their new Masters in Innovation, Creativity and Leadership when, from out of nowhere, the credit crunch crunched and the City of London teetered on the edge of economic calamity. Here they are trying to launch their new Masters, and along comes the biggest financial crisis the world's ever faced. This really is big. Everyone really is freaking out. But hang on, the new Masters is all about creativity, innovation and turning ideas into action. Is there anything they can come up with that might actually help us get out of this mess? Enter the Big City Brainstorm, a unique event which brought together some of the UK's most ingenious thinkers from universities, companies, charities and the public sector. Out came the flip charts and post-it notes, and the first thing we needed to know was, what exactly is the City of London's problem?
Normally brands' images change gradually over time, but this has been dramatic.
The heart of the problem is an addiction to quick profits, essentially.
It was previously the great hero of the country, and the great empowerment of the people was that they could now buy financial services products and make themselves independently wealthy, so they stopped having to be dependent on the state. And all that disappeared one day.
The city is a bit like a person who was very smartly dressed in a suit but was secretly swigging out of a bottle in a brown paper bag.
People forgot what the difference between right and wrong was, and basically did whatever they could get away with.
How strong we were because of our faith in our institutions, and once that faith begins to be undermined, it has a real domino effect.
The biggest collapse in trust is about banks. People took it for granted that you could put your money in a bank and that at any point when you wanted to take it out you could. And then suddenly they discovered that wasn't the case.
I think the problem was just, well, partly greed, actually.
Some pretty big issues to deal with. So what did the Big City Brainstorm come up with? Well, everyone used up thousands of post-it notes, but we didn't mind too much because in amongst them were some interesting new ideas. There seemed to be three main themes. Openness. The City of London needs to take a more transparent approach and make itself truly accountable to the public. Education. The city has to re-educate its own people and help the public better understand what it does. Trust. The city needs to reassess its own ethical standards if it's going to rebuild public confidence. And there were lots of specific ideas too. The City Trauma Centre, a new institution to help rehabilitate city workers and instil new corporate values. A new city commission which would be modelled on the South African Truth and Reconciliation movement and would set about repairing relationships between banks and restoring public confidence. And, one of my favourites, a super nanny watchdog that would phase out bonus culture in favour of consistent, long-term performance. There were loads more ideas. There were so many that we ended up creating a new section on our website to host them all. The Big City Brainstorm was held by the Centre for Creativity for the launch of the new Masters in Innovation, Creativity and Leadership. We've started to call it the Michael. The Michael is a 2-year part-time programme designed to turn ideas into action that covers business, law, social science and informatics. Find out more about the Big City Brainstorm and taking the Michael at www.city.ac.uk/creativity.